Alright, so I got the whole front end jacked up now, and got everything back disassembled. And now I need to try to beat these lug bolts out. And you can see now, because I have the whole front end off, I can rotate these to a place where when I hit them, they'll be on a clear spot in the back, as opposed to one of these spots where you know, the bolt's going to hit this flange on the back of the hub. Alright, let's beat a couple of these and see if they come out. Here's one, and I'm using a 4-pound sledge here. And there's two. I've got a couple new lug nuts and studs, and I've also got a 7/16 hex nut and some, or no, this is a 3/4 hex nut, and these are some 7/16 washers. Alright, so the reason that we have the hex nut is that when we pull this in, we're going to have the stud through the plate, and then we're going to put the hex nut on here, and it's going to ride against that plate, and we're going to draw this lug nut down, and as we do, it's going to pull the stud into the plate and seat it. And so we don't want this to get messed up right here, and so the bevel on that sits right inside. The bevel on this sits right inside that 3/4 inch nut, and I've got the washers to go. If I need a little more spacing, I can put them behind, so the washers fit over the thread. So that's what that's all for. Hopefully it works out. You're going to turn this until you find the right spot. And there's only one spot where you can barely get those in. And then you want to get this stack that you have thick enough so that while you're drawing down your nut, you don't shank out, because you're going to have a little shank sticking out. You can see on some of these. But you don't want it so much that you don't have anything grabbing on your nut. So I found that 3 of these washers, again, these are 7/16 washers, and a 3/4 inch nut works pretty well, and you want to get that centered so that the bevel is going into the nut. And I had to get out my 1/2 inch ratchet, so I had enough leverage for this. And you just got to find something that you can use to brace in here so this thing doesn't turn on you. I'm using a breaker bar, but you can use a pry bar, whatever you have. Steel pipe or whatever you got laying around. You're just going to draw this in until you see it seat fully on the back. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put some oil, some WD-40 or something in there. I didn't really think to do that, but that wouldn't be a bad idea. You don't want to crank down too hard or you'll snap this, but just until it seats. That looks like it's seated. Maybe just a touch more. Looks good. So when I put the tire and everything back on, I'm going to torque it down, and I'll drive it, and I'll check the torque on these a couple times just in case these do decide to seat themselves a little bit more. The torque will be a little